Brr, it's too cold to teach school. I think I'll have to call a sub.
Well, hey, partners, I'm Callie, the Calculating Cowgirl. I'm here to teach you a little math today. We're going to learn about percent because everybody has to use percent. If you ever go to a restaurant, if you ever pay taxes, or if you ever have to get a discount at a shopping mall. So let's get started. All right, cowpokes, y'all ready to get started today? Best thing about today's lesson is that you're really going to use it, and it's super easy, and you're going to feel smart when you do it. So the first thing is, we've got to think about all those things in your classroom, those fraction pieces we've been using all year. We know that all these fractions relate to decimals, and all these decimals relate to percent, and they also relate to money. So the first thing we're going to think about today is we're going to think about 10%. Because when you use 10%, you can do a lot with that, especially if you know your times tables, which I hope you know. So the first one is 10%. How can we turn that into a decimal? I said it makes you think of money, percents do. So how can we turn 10% into a decimal? All right, I see some smart ones out there. You said 10% is equal to 0.10. 0.10, you say, huh? Well, if it's 0.10, what would that be in money? 10 cents. That's right. That's exactly right. So, what fraction of a dollar is 10 cents? 1/10. You got it. You are so smart. Let's see what else you know. If you know that 10% is 10 cents, the decimal 0.10, and the fraction 1/10, without even thinking, I bet you can figure out what 20% is. You're right, just double it, so that'd be 0.20 or 2/10 of a dollar, right? 0.20. Let's see, y'all baby geniuses out there, what about 30%? Can we figure that one out? What decimal would 30% be? That's right, 0.30. And that would be the fraction, 3/10. Look at you go. Alrighty, let's put our thinking cap on for this one. What about 25%? You know, let's think about that. 25% of a dollar, because percent means per 100, right? So 25% of a dollar would be, 0.25 cents. That's right, a quarter. And what fraction of a dollar would that be? How many quarters are there in a dollar? 1/4. You got it? Yeah, that is good. Now here's a tricky one. You got to think about my classroom. You got to think, or your teacher's classroom, because I'm just a sub. You got to think about the fractions on the board. And we've looked at these all year. Who can tell me what would 33 1/3%? Now we can't have a third of a dollar, so we know we can't think of it exactly like money. Who remembers? Yeah, that's right. The decimal was 0.3 repeating. It goes on and on and on and on and on, doesn't it? And so, you know, what fraction would that be? Think of that size of that piece on my board. 1/3. You're exactly right. So if you are a baby genius and you've already figured out sort of a pattern here, if we have 66 2/3%, what decimal would that be? You got it. 0.6 repeating. Well, if 33 1/3% was the fraction 1/3, what do you think 66 2/3% will be? 2/3. You got it. Here's another one. It's kind of hard, but I'm trying to get you some of the ones just to memorize, keep in your head, because you can use them all the time in life. So does anybody remember what the decimal for 12.5% was? Think of your teacher's board. Oh yeah, that's it. You got it. 0.125. You are so smart. Ooh, your teacher's lucky. And who remembers what fraction that is? Can you see it up there? I think it's the green pieces. Yeah, you're right. 1/8. All right, well, let's look at some of the stuff I wrote down real quick. Well, here's some notes that I just was taking while we were doing that math, because y'all are so smart. You figured it out so fast. What do you see happening to that decimal when you turn 10% into a decimal? What did it do every time? You got it. It moved 2 places to the left. So let's write that down. To turn a percent into a decimal, move a decimal 2 places left. Write that down. We need to know that. That's important. And then if you looked over there, we figured out that we could, the fractions for this. Today we're not really doing a lot of converting. Today, alrighty, so let's say we go to a good old steak restaurant. We order us a steak and baked potato and a salad and some iced tea. And the whole meal was $25. I had the best waitress. She did a good job, so I'm going to give her 20% tip. Well, let's see here. If the meal was $25, 20% of $25. Of is the key word there. We all know what of means in math. What does of mean? Of means multiply, right? Multiply. So when we say of, we're going to multiply. So we have to figure out what is 20% of $25. I never learned how to really multiply percent. I always have to turn them into something. What do you think that is? Yeah, you got to turn them into a decimal or a fraction, and then you can multiply. We don't really multiply percents. We got to turn them into something else first, right? So let's think here. If we know that 10% is 1/10 of something, what do you think 10% of $25 would be? Yeah, $2.50. What happened to that decimal? It moved 1 place left. That's right, we moved the decimal 1 place left when we were trying to figure out 10%. So if I figured out that 10%, $25, now she was way better waitress than 10%, so we got to give her 20%. If it was $2.50 for 10%, what do you think 20% is going to be? You are so smart. That teacher of yours, she is so lucky to have you in class. That's right, we would give her a $5 tip. Now, you know, I know some cowboys out there. I'm related to some of them. They used to, when they go to a restaurant when they were young, just always slap down $10 or whatever. And I'm thinking, you're wasting money. They either gave too much or too little because they didn't do the math. But isn't it easy? Just move that decimal 1 place to the left, and you will figure out what 10% is. Then you can go from there. So let's try another one. Let's say we go up to a hamburger place and get some hamburgers and fries and Coca-Cola, and it was $12. Another good waitress. I was lucky. Another really good one. So I want to be sure and give her 20% also. And so what would I do to figure out 20% of $12? That's right. Figure out 10% first. What's 10% of $12? $1.20, that's right. So what would 20% be? Double that, so $2.40. Yeah, you got it. You were a smart group, a real smart group. Well, let's see, if we can figure out tip like that, I think we could probably figure out some discounts if we were going to go to the mall or something and go shopping. And I've had my eye on some new cowboy boots, and they're $100. But I heard that after the snow days we've had, that they were going to have a sale because they hadn't had enough shoppers. So they were going to give us 25% off of that $100. 25% of $100. I can't multiply percents. So what do I have to do? Got to turn it into a decimal or a fraction, right? 25%, what fraction is that? 1/4, because they're 4 quarters in a dollar. So what would 1/4 of $100 be? Yeah, $25. So how much would my new boots cost? $75. Such a deal. I'm going to go buy them if that's really true. I think it is. That's what I saw the ad for. Let's think of some more examples that we could practice. So I was out shopping and I saw that I could get a new vest. It would be great for riding my horse. And this new vest was $30, and they were having an after Christmas sale for 1/3 off. So 33 1/3% off, 1/3 off. How could I figure out how much that vest is going to cost? 1/3 of 30%, $30, would be $10, right? So that new vest would cost me $20. You got it, folks. Y'all are doing great. Then I know hopefully spring's gonna come soon, and I'm gonna need my summer hat. And my summer hat, it got eaten up by a cow last time because it was made out of straw. So I'm gonna need me a new straw hat this time. So I saw in the catalog they were $24. It was a good one too, and I don't want to spend too much because in case my cows eat it again. And it was 10% off of $24. So 10% of $24. What do we say about that? Just move that decimal one place left. So how much off? $2.40. That's right. What if I went to the rodeo? I'd had a coupon. It wasn't much value, but the tickets to the rodeo were $10. And the rodeo coupon said 5% off. All we hadn't done anything with 5%, have we? But I know how to find 10%. And isn't 5% half at 10%? I think it is. So let's see here. If it's $10 to go to the rodeo, how much would 10% be? Move the decimal, one place left, $1. And so 5% is going to be half of $1. So what's half of $1? 50 cents off. So the price of my tickets went down to $9.50. That's a good deal, don't you think? So let me see here, before you get on, because you're probably getting tired of listening to me talk and you're ready to get on to recess or something. So let's see what we learned here today. First off, we learned how to turn a percent into a decimal. And what was that? Yeah, move the decimal 2 places to the left. Then we also learned that of means what? Times. You're right, you remembered. And the other thing we learned was that we could take 10% of something and figure out a lot of stuff from there. Or like 10%, if we figure out 10%, we can figure out 20% by doubling it, 30% by tripling it, 40% by quadrupling it, and on and on and on, right? Which would mean 50% is going to be super easy, right? Because that's just half, we know that. So, but if we had something like 25%, we know we could do the fraction 1/4 because we know about quarters and we know about 25%. So I think we could do that. Then we got to memorize some of them. Got to memorize that 33 1/3% is the same as 1/3. 66 2/3% is going to be double. So hopefully you looked at some of those notes I had, and we'll do that. And you'll write those notes down and remember. I'm going to show you one more picture. If you didn't already write these down, you be sure you get them down because these are things you need to know for the rest of your life. You ever want to invest in stocks, you ever want to do the tip, you ever want to do taxes, you ever want to get a discount, you're going to use these forever. If you ever want to look at your stats and your sports playing, you're going to need to know this stuff. So you need to memorize these things. Memorize them and know them. And one more thing is, remember, how do you turn that percent into a decimal? You move the decimal 2 places left. How do you find 10% of something? You just move that decimal 1 place to the left, right? Just knock off a 0 or move the decimal 1 place to the left. Now I'm going to give you a few problems to practice on your own because I think your teacher's going to want to see if you can do this tomorrow. All right, now put your video on pause so that you can answer these problems here. Have them ready. Show your work because your teacher tomorrow, she's going to be expecting you to know the answers and have your work there ready to explain how you did it. Alrighty, now I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope you feel smart learning it because it's practical. You're going to be using this a lot, and I'm so glad that I got to come. And remember me, I'm Callie, the Calculating Cowgirl.